Welcome to the Fitness Mindset Podcast. Amanda Micallef here, helping people like you overcome life's setbacks to help you achieve your fitness, career and life goals. This podcast has been sponsored by my coaching practice, Divine Physiques Coaching, as well as Kyani and the Triangle of Health. To find out more about coaching with me or more about Kyani and their incredible products, please shoot me an email. Link is available in the description below. Thank you for tuning in today, and I hope you enjoy this week's episode. Guys, welcome back to the Fitness Mindset Podcast. We are joined here with Shadi Di Bartolo. This is episode number 33. Now, Shadi owns her own fitness business, Back to Basics Fitness or For Life Fitness. Sorry, I nearly stuffed that one up, but there's an interesting story about this business name, Shadi. So we've just had a really interesting chat off air. So first of all, welcome to the podcast. Second of all, how did it all come to life?
So a little bit of a background story, but I'm going to be very, very short. So basically it all started with my mum. We're not so perfect when it comes to being personal trainers. We all got our, flaws. But my mum was morbidly obese, so essentially was told by the doctor that if she doesn't lose weight, she will pass. So I think me and my mum used this to our advantage to, just focus on our health and fitness. We did it together. We loved it. We enjoyed it. My mum, though, was studying at the time, and she actually ended up making her own business name called Back to Basics for Life, and naturopathy. She was studying naturopathy. And so a lot of people, I don't really speak to a lot of people about this because there are some people that are skeptical when it comes to being a psychic and whatever it is. But my mum she loved being a psychic and helping people.
Yep.
And essentially what happened was she studied, and her goal was to obviously do naturopathy, and basically her legacy moved on towards to me. So I ended up taking on her legacy. My mum passed away, and I took on her business name and all her social media accounts. And basically the quick story to my mum's passing was, she got sunburnt, got gold staph, which is an infection through the blood.
Yep.
She ended up getting her heart valves replaced, and she didn't really make it after the surgery. But prior to the surgery, very unusual for her to be telling me all of this information. But the day before, she basically told me all the password, the ins and outs of her social media. It just came to me that, why don't I use her account? So I ended up just making it Back to Basics for Life Fitness.
Yep.
So if anyone wants to have a look at any of the posts, if you scroll down 7 years ago, from when my mum used to post on there, it actually has all her posts.
Oh, interesting. Yep. So prior to you having the fitness business, it was Back to Basics for Life Naturopathy. Is that right? Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, cool. So that would be interesting. Anyway, we'll post the links below if people want to suss that out and just actually spend 2 or 3 minutes scrolling down and see how far down, which I'm probably going to do the same thing as well, which is pretty interesting. So what made you get into fitness? Did you ever start off in a gym? How did it all, what was your journey to becoming a personal trainer?
Yeah, so like I said, I think it all came down to it all started with my mum, and then my mum absolutely loved that I was looking after myself. I'm not so perfect. I actually have a few flaws, and I'm sure
we all do.
Now today I've put on 7 kilos again, and it's bad, but it is what it is. We'll get back into it. But anyways.
Is that since COVID you put on a bit of weight?
Yeah, since COVID, this second round, since COVID, I've put on weight. I've just been sitting on my ass. Like, I've literally been not motivated, and I can definitely understand like what everyone else is going through. It's absolutely shit, to be
Yeah,
honest. But
cool. So
um,
you've got a pretty good, like you've got a pretty decent clientele base. So when you got into the industry, because I know when I got into the industry, I started off in a commercial gym and then I built up my clientele, and then I've worked in a couple of gyms around the traps in Melbourne. So did you start off in a gym, or did you get certified and then start from home?
yeah, so I actually started off in the gym. I actually wasn't planning on becoming a personal trainer. I was going to study, get my university degree in exercise sports science, so exercise physiologist, but that
Yep.
didn't happen. I'm not a study person. I can't read. I'm more a physical and like show me kind of person.
Yep.
So I ended up going into some leisure centers, started, becoming an instructor there, and I loved like communicating and talking with people. And I think from being so involved with clients and members, they enjoyed my authenticity. I actually enjoyed being in the gym because they saw me train as well. I didn't just go, because I know that there are a lot of trainers out there that are personal trainers,
Yep.
but they're lazy shits. They're lazy. Like they're just there for the money. Like it's
Yep.
a casual job, 9 to 5, whatever it is, you know?
I think, yeah, when
So they
people are
don't
like that,
practice.
they're young. They're quite, like, I think, because I know when I started in a commercial gym, the ones that I thought were lazy were the young ones, or they were doing like a part-time course or something like that. So they weren't taking the actual job seriously. And I think it's a little bit of a cop-out if people come into this industry thinking it's a part-time gig. It's actually a proper career, and that's what people forget. Like, there's so much you have to put into it. If you think it's just a case of rocking up and watching someone lift a bit of weight, there's so much more that goes into it. But yeah, continue.
No, 100%. I agree with you on that. And that's what shit me up the wall, was that there wasn't authenticity. It was just 9 to 5 and I'm going to leave. Whereas even when I wasn't working, I would actually go in and train. So client and members would see that I wasn't just like, yep, gone by, and I'd piss off. I'd actually, like, after my work hours, it wasn't like I was sick of being there. I would stay there because I wanted to train. I enjoyed it. So I think that's where it made a difference. And then I think from there, the members were like, I love your training. I'd love to train like, you love what you do.
Mm.
And they saw what I was doing. And I think you'd be the same in this as well. Like, so I ended up gaining like 1 or 2 clients. But you know what's really crap is that I feel like that the trainers that really loved what they were doing, they weren't getting paid enough at the gyms. Like, for a 30-minute session, I was only getting paid like $17.
Oh, okay.
So,
right, gotcha.
yeah,
So it was like
yeah,
that.
or like if I was doing an hour session, I was getting paid like 27 or something dollars for a whole hour.
It's crazy.
So it just wasn't worth it for me to have to come in and out and whatever. So I ended up, like, I kept that job, but I thought, you know what, I'm going to see if I can do my own stuff and the way I want to do it. So I ended up just training from my house, from my lounge room, essentially. And I just thought we'd see what happens. I wasn't too afraid to let my casual job go because it was consistent money.
Yep.
So I kept that whilst I was doing that. But I just found that I started to get busy slowly. I couldn't really cover casual shifts. So
how did you, sorry to cut you off, how did you pick up clients from gym to home? Were you just taking clients from the gym to your home?
No. So you know what? Funny story is and this is me being transparent here. The place that I was working at was so shit. It was almost like I couldn't do my own thing or grow my own shit without them judging me. So even when I wasn't taking their clients and I was building up my own clientele, they didn't like that. And when they saw it on social media, I was legitimately, and funny enough, who knows whether they'll know it's them that I'm talking about, but I would get pulled into the office at least once a week and I would turn around and say, I swear to you, I'm not taking clients from you. This is me building up my own business and me, you know, people wanting to work with me. And what's the point in me bringing them to you when you're not even giving us anything? I'm like, it's shit all. Like, I'm not going to sit here and work for peanuts.
Yep.
So that's when it was too much of a conflict of interest, and I always getting bothered by it. So that's when I made my decision.
Yep.
Yeah. And I didn't take their clients. I never, you know what was really funny though, and I'm happy to admit this, is if you're a really good trainer, people will follow you. And that's what they did.
Of course.
There were people that realized, and I don't know if this, I would love to know if this happened to you, A, but I'm going to call you A. It's just quick.
No worries. No worries, S. I'll call you Shards. Glass of Shards.
Everyone calls me Shards. Yeah. So many people that call me Shards, so that's fine.
No, I like it.
What I was saying.
So you had a lot of people were following you, and you go, I don't know if this happens to you as well, and then bang.
Yes, I don't know if it's happened to you as well, but they realized that I wasn't there enough. So like, because I was always there, once they saw that I wasn't there, they actually started inboxing me and DMing me.
Okay.
Because I was also going to boxing classes just for my own fitness in my own time.
Yep.
So they didn't see me and they'd message me, and I'm like, oh, I've decided to leave. And there's a couple of clients that ended up following me because of it. Like,
yeah, right. Okay, cool. Yeah, beautiful. And that's how it built. So then obviously, did you set up from home, and you would have had like a bit of a basic setup from home?
Oh, mate. I'm not even joking. I already showed you. I literally...
in the living room or whatever, everyone. A bedroom or something?
This is where...
So what is that? Is that a bedroom? What is that?
So this is a lounge room.
Okay. Yeah. So you started in the lounge room.
This is the lounge room. So that's the wall. That's how small it was.
Yeah. And what did you put in there, equipment-wise? Oh, okay. Yeah. No, that's interesting to see. And you've got the studio at home. Can you show us what the studio looks like now?
So this is this is where I started to get busy, and we started cleaning up everything.
The garage,
then it looked like this.
Yeah.
Then it looked like that, so it was a bit smaller. And then I don't have a photo of it, but I can probably show you.
Easy.
It'd be on my Facebook. But
I don't normally do this on the podcast, but why not? It's interesting to see your progression.
And then it has turned into...
Oh, wow. Look at that. Beautiful. So it's like a functional kind of fitness training studio.
Yeah.
Yeah, really nice.
It's strength training and functional. It's everything.
And how long have you had it set like that for?
So I only during COVID, actually, I changed everything up, and I changed a couple of things. So before the second round, just before we closed again, I ended up revamping and renewing things, adding new equipment in. Yeah. And I guess clients really haven't used it yet, but the equipment I'd say has been there since last November. Yeah. But it's had their stages. So in terms of stages, I would say every 2 years is when I changed it again.
Right. Okay. Really, really interesting. And it's looking great for a home studio. It's a fair effort. Well done.
I want to because a lot of people, whenever they inquire, some people say garage gym, and I feel like that's like a, what do you call it? It's like saying that something's from a $2 shop.
Well, a home studio sounds nice, but when they actually see the photos, and you can go, oh yeah, okay, is that, garage? Yeah. Just because it's in a garage. When I was training clients from the garage, I didn't even have proper flooring. They were training on a concrete floor with some mats. But I was renting where I was. So unfortunately, I couldn't even do it up properly. But I think what matters most is the quality of training that you give people. And I'd always say to clients that were coming to my house, because before COVID hit, I wanted to actually start to work from home. And then getting new clients was virtually almost impossible because people weren't even allowed to leave the house. So then everything had to kind of go online.
But I would pre-warn people and say, don't expect to walk into a fancy studio. I normally charge more to work in a gym because you have, access to way more equipment, proper gym flooring and what have you. So whereas you certainly don't have that problem. You've got a beautiful setup at home. So if anything, yeah, definitely that needs to be oversold, not undersold.
I'm honestly, I'm really grateful. Like, I mean, it's taken me 7 years to get where I am. I believe
Yeah.
anyone can do it. Like, even you, like if, like, I mean, you're gonna move soon. You're leaving us, but besides that,
Yeah.
I swear to you, I just had a conversation with one of my friends. They're moving to the sunny coast. This COVID has screwed us because now everyone's leaving.
Literally.
But
literally, yep.
anyways, like, it's crazy because I always had this mentality and thought where it's just there's too much competition. I'm not going to get anyone. I'm not going to get any clients. So what's the point?
Yep.
That was literally when I first started. And then I'm like, holy shit, like, why did I have that mentality? Like, if I can say anything, like, it's easy to do. You've just got to, like, start from the bottom. I believe it doesn't matter how much equipment, whatever it is that you might have, as shit as your setup will be, if the person really loves the quality of your training, they'll come to you 100%.
Totally agree. I only had a couple of pairs of dumbbells at home to get me by until the gyms were supposed to reopen. So, my plans for this year have completely crashed and burned and then some. So, and then I've just taken okay, well, screw that idea. I'm actually just going to go and move into state where the fitness industry is actually meant to be thriving and surviving, because Melbourne's so unknown. But yeah, look, I mean, we'll see what the future looks like in terms of, how well the fitness business does up there. But what I was going to ask you, so how do you run your sessions? Do you do one-on-ones, group sessions? How many sessions do you run a week?
So I do a little bit of everything, actually. So it's an exclusive PT studio. I don't allow casuals in. There's no casuals.
Yep.
It's only clientele based, so my clients get the access to the studio. The way the sessions run is they're all an hour. I don't know about you, but I don't believe in 30 minutes. Like, yeah, 30 minutes. 30 minutes might be good.
If you're boxing on pads, for example, because I'm a boxing trainer as well, then yeah, 30 minutes you can really, you can get a mad workout in 30 minutes. But I think for a weight training session, I personally do 45-minute sessions, generally run over into an hour. So yeah.
Yeah, that is exactly, literally took the words out of my mouth. Interval training or boxing, 30 minutes, you'll get gassed out. That's perfect. But, by the time you get into it, you stretch, you warm up, and then you, like,
have a bit of a
lot of clients want to do I talk so much, but like,
well, they become your friends. Some of your clients become some of your bestest friends too, because you see them a lot. You see them nearly every day, so you start to share your life with these people.
100%. They're like the counselor.
Yeah.
I remember having a client, she was that upset that she wanted to smash something, so I gave her a slam ball and she went hack. She was just picking it up, slamming it, and she was just so angry. She's like, oh, like, I'm like, oh, okay.
Wow, she would have had the best workout.
Like, keep going. Yeah.
Oh, my Lord. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so roughly how many sessions do you reckon you do a week?
I calculated this. I don't know how I did it, because when I went back to work for 2 days before second round of COVID hit, I said to myself, oh my God, I don't even know how I'm going to do this, because within 2 days of work, I got sick the second day. I calculated that at the moment, I've got 66 hours a week.
Yeah, so it's big hours. And that's a combination of group training and one-on-one training?
Yeah. So I've got, so I limit the group, small group PT, and then I've got my private clients. Yeah.
Okay, cool. And how many clients in total?
I think I counted 104.
Wow.
I've got
Active,
104.
clients, 104 active clients.
Active,
yeah.
Yeah, active clients. Yeah.
That's crazy.
So like I have them. So in terms of privates, I have clients that share sessions with each other.
Yep.
And I'm transparent. Like I would love to help anyone and everyone if they need help with, you know, PT side of things. Like,
yep.
you know, I would probably come back to you and, you know, be like, hey, I've got this and this and this. Like, can you help me out? Can I do something better? And, you know, I would love that in return. Like, I would be more than happy. Like, a lot of people aren't, you know, either transparent or they don't like to share their success because they don't want maybe people.
Have you competed in any sort of sports? Do you have any experience in that sense?
In my head, I had this perception where the only way you can become either successful or grow a PT business is if you've competed. I have never competed. I've never competed, but I've put my body through like certain things to see how it feels when you compete. So I've never wanted to go on stage. I'm not like pleasing everybody or I'm not proving to everybody what I can do and what my capabilities are.
Yep. Yep. So you're not a competition coach as such, but you've coached a lot of people that have been on stage. Yeah, because it's a whole other ball game.
Yeah.
Comp coaching, dieting, and prep people and peak people and all the rest of it. So yeah, it's a whole other kettle of fish.
100%. A mix of everything. You see, I feel like I love working with the non-prep people. I do. Don't get me wrong. I love working with people that want to do comp prep, but I feel like in terms of the appreciation, and the emotional background, and the struggles that they have, I feel like they need more guidance and help. And I truly feel that they value every single bit of knowledge. Whereas I feel like the comp prep industry is almost like these comp guys already know what they're doing.
Yeah.
They're just like, yeah, I just need you to do this for me. And that's it kind of thing.
Yeah, that's right. Well, you're dealing with you're dealing with people that are more advanced. When you got Gen Pop clients, they're fresh. They're a fresh slate. So they're like a sponge and they're going to take on everything you say. And they have some real hang-ups with themselves. They're starting from the ground. So, they've got a long journey. Whereas with people that have been in comps, that they just need tiny tweaks here and there. And they're probably, if anything, they're probably a bit boring to train because there's not a lot you sort of can do at times.
Yes, 110%. But I would train them if they wanted me to. But it's really weird. I like something challenging. Yes. So love to work with someone that has the emotional, the background to them and everything like that, that wants to be educated. I love when I will never train a client and let them go off and do something without them gaining a bit of knowledge. I want them, if it happens that they can't train with me anymore for whatever reason, I want them to leave knowing how to train or knowing how to do things.
Yep.
That's what they pay us for, I guess, as well.
Absolutely. So let's have a chat now. We're going to sort of pivot. We had another discussion off air last week. We jumped on the Zoom and we spoke about influencers or influencers, as I like to call them. We're both influencers ourselves. So what, in your opinion, is right or wrong? What's your experience with influencers over the years? You've got a solid following online, 46.8 thousand as of today. Have you worked much with other influencers?
If I could say 3 words to describe influencers, is that
go easy, Shards, go easy.
You know what it is? I think it's because the other side of me, I think it's because I'm not, or maybe I haven't comp prepped. So I haven't gained that because I feel like a lot of my friends that have comp prep, they say that there's a lot of bitchiness and a lot of like, I don't know, maybe you can say, because you've comp prepped, haven't you, eh? You've done...
I used to actually be an ICN judge. So from 2016 till 2018. So I stopped after my grandmother died. I just lost focus after that. I wasn't interested after that. It wasn't worth the money for the amount of hours you had to put in, and it was a great experience, and I'm still really good friends with Tony and Pat Lanciano. So they run ICN here in Victoria. But yeah, look, I mean, I just lost my passion for it, and I thought I just need to focus on my business but it was a great experience nonetheless. However, yes, you do see the competitiveness on the panel, even though the judging was very fair. It's very existent on the panel as well as backstage too. So you kind of see that. But I guess what we need to remember is when you're dieting, you're not really yourself, you know. It's like that commercial Mars bar or something. You're not yourself when you're hungry, you know, and you see people literally transform into something else. So
yeah,
that's just it. I think it's just, I think it's the nature of the beast. Unfortunately, it's very egotistical, superficial. It's all about what's on the outside. They're not necessarily healthy on the inside. Love it or hate it, that is how it is. And I think, for me personally, I mean, I struggled with the dieting side of it. I tried to diet twice down in the second attempt last year before I got onto the show. So I ended my comp prep 2 days or a day before I found out I got onto maths. So that week was huge. I also celebrated my birthday that same week and broke up with my ex at the time. So it was a huge, huge week for me.
that's
So
crazy.
I developed an eating disorder at the time. And as the day that I said my diet's done is the day that in my head, my food focus was just the last thing on my mind, you know. So it's amazing when it's almost like dieting can have this placebo effect on your mindset, that you're craving something because you know you're not supposed to have it. So for me, I mean, I love my food. I can stay pretty ripped all year round and be quite healthy. So, you know, I was like, oh, who am I kidding myself? You know, I'm 34. What do I really need to achieve with this? Is it really going to boost my business? Probably not. You know, is it worth messing with my hormones? No, it's not. And, you know, I was old enough to make a wise decision. Some people get into it. Some people get into competing, especially young girls, you know, bikini competitors, you know, not physique, what's the other one? Figure. So figure was the division that I was going to go into.
Far out. That would have been hard.
Yeah, it was hard. It was hard, but I mean, I've got the muscle maturity there, so the physique development was already there. It was just I had to cut off 10 kilos, and I'm already relatively light for my height. So yeah, so I think a lot of young girls, young impressionable girls, get into this. You know, they don't. You know, they may get a good coach, but a lot of them end up just blowing out after. Even if you have a good coach, I think your body is just naturally going to repel against the starvation, because it's such a controlled starvation for so many weeks that the body is naturally just going to wreak havoc with hormones. So it just wasn't worth it for me. Yeah. So
it was like 9 kilos in a week someone gained after comp. It's crazy.
Yeah. So that's what happens. And unfortunately, then what happens is you got your post-comp blues, where, you know, your idea of being skinny and in shape is they're now unrealistic. So, you know, if it ain't broke, don't try and fix it type thing. And that's what happens with these comp people, is they probably started out really good, got through a comp, got really, really shredded, put on weight after the show, which is normal because you're supposed to, and then they look at themselves and they have this body dysmorphia, which is really unhealthy. And either after a few months, they come out of that whole mindset and they think, oh, yeah, look, that's not really normal to feel like that. Or, you know, they just keep competing because they keep following, they keep chasing that last high. It's like a drug high for them. you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I guess back to what you were saying about, you know, these influencers online, a lot of them have competed. So tell me more about that.
They're on their phones all the time. Like, I feel like it's just so hard to communicate. It's either they're wanting to try and be someone, like, even though there may be an influencer, like, for example, like when I go to like expos and stuff, man, I find it so hard to communicate with people. I find it awkward because I'll speak to someone within, like, let's just say 10 seconds, they'll be on their phone, like, oh, sorry, give me 2 seconds. And in my head, I'll think like, I'll be like, is that normal? Like, are they, like, is that, I'm actually
It's rude. It's so rude. I've been to an expo. I worked at an expo myself, and I experienced the same thing. And I thought, gee, these girls really do think their shit doesn't stink. Like, it's funny. It's actually quite laughable to see how they behave. They develop this. Their identity becomes about their physique. You know, what happens when you're not in top shape? You know, do you lose who you are? Are you addicted? Are you so addicted to the likes and the comments on your Instagram? You know, it's like, calm down. You're actually a nobody. You know what I mean? Like, I've been on national television and I still feel like a bit of a nobody. You know, okay, it wasn't long anyway, and it may never happen again. But like, for someone that actually is well known around the country, let's just say, anyone who watches the show will know who we are, right? And a lot of people watch the show.
Yeah.
So, but even that is not enough to go, well, I think I'm someone different now, you know, because I remember who I was with or without that. You know what I'm saying?
And
so that funny. Yeah.
That is something that I saw straight after the show. I saw everyone after maths, you know, on social media, all these, posting, tagging, and I'm just like, look at all the stupid shit that they're tagging people in. Like, this is shit that isn't really good stuff. So are they just doing it for the money? Like, they don't give a shit about their following to promote like good quality things. Do you know what I mean? And the one thing that I loved about you, and I still, it's just amazing, is that I realized that you don't seem to be a social media person where you're on it all the time, or else I'd be seeing like stories, boom, 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 like every single day.
I think Shards, look, I think a lot of those people went on the show just for that, just for the Instagram glory. They were waiting to get on the show, and then they hopped on the influencer bandwagon and thought, yes, now I can finally get recognized. Look, don't get me wrong, like, I went there for a bit of an opportunity too. You don't go to a show just to find love. And if anyone says they did, they're talking absolute rubbish, and I can tell you that now, okay? Because yes, I went for love. However, I also went for opportunity. I'm not even going to deny that, okay? But I had a business before going on the show. So all I did was basically, yes, I got thrown other opportunities, and yes, I promoted a whole number of different businesses. Some were paid, most were not paid, okay? So yeah, we get thrown a lot of opportunity, and a lot of people get a taste of the influencer life where they're basically getting paid $200 an hour or a post. Now, a post can take you 5 minutes to make. If you're good at creating content, like, I can literally create a piece of content inside of 2 minutes, not a problem, right, from start to finish. If you're really good at that, and you're influencing all day long and you're getting paid for everything you do, there is some big money to be made in influencing. Now, if it were not for COVID, we would all be on pretty big money right now, right? Or at least post-show, we would have been on good money. But we all got put straight into lockdown. We didn't get to go on any events, no networking opportunities. And the jobs that we did get online were probably pissy in comparison to what they should have been, you know? So, like I said, people get a taste for that influencer ability to make big money for very little work, and they want to ride that train. So then they keep promoting anything they can to keep making money for jam. So
Yeah.
But
But that's where you
yeah.
were different. You continued, even you've got the both. Whereas, because the other one was cooler. Whereas you never lost yourself on what you did originally, and that's where I think everyone saw it. Like you still had that, that passion for what you love doing, and you never got rid of it. It's still you. Do you know what I mean? And that's where it was different, and that's what I loved, and that's where I think we've lost a lot of people like that. Where as soon as they've, what blows my mind is I'll go to a fitness event, there will be 5 girls that know each other. And I may know one of those girls, and I go up to them and just say, oh, hi. I will not even kidding when I say this. They make you feel like you're not a part of that group because you don't know those influencers. But I'm just like, oh, hey, dude, I'm just saying hi. What, you can't, seriously sit here, have a normal conversation with me.
Yeah.
Because there's more important people that you think are better than me. I'm like, are you serious?
See, I would love to be able to experience that because I find that quite comical, right? Is that yes, unfortunately in the fitness industry, it can be very superficial. I worked at one of the Arnold events and I was working at one of the stands there and I met some of the sand girls, and as cool and down to earth as they were, they were a little bit sort of up themselves too, but whatever, when you're getting that much attention, you probably would be a bit up yourself as well, You got everyone throwing themselves at you and what have you. But when you're just a 22-year-old nobody who's had 1 or 2 competitions and suddenly you're walking around in your skimpy tight outfit and your dead straight hair, people like that eventually will come to realize that, with a little bit more maturity, wisdom and personal development, that you got to know who you are when you don't have anything at all, when you don't have your 5 friends who all have something in common, because I can tell you now that when your life crash and burns to the ground like mine did this year, I had to constantly remind myself of who I was so I didn't fall apart at the seams. And I kept and the way I do that is I still dress nice, even though I'm technically homeless, living out of boxes right now, okay? I still dress nice because I got pride, and I still spoke well, and I still tried not to lose my shit, and I also pulled away from social media. So like what you're saying, you don't post a lot. No, I don't. Sometimes I think, oh, should I sit there and show people what I'm eating today, like what peanut butter I'm eating today, or what parcel I got delivered today? And I thought, don't try and over impress people. You're 35, you're not 26. Like different generations of people, I might have cared 10 years ago, frantically trying to discover, what should I post today? Or the truth is we're in stage 4 lockdown. Guess what we're doing? Nothing. We're not doing anything. Unless you're going for a walk or training, there's really nothing interesting happening in Melbourne today. So aside from showing you what I'm watching on Netflix or what I'm training, really the only things I post are when things go live on radio, that's every Thursday morning. When there's a new podcast released, which is probably once every couple of months at best now. What food I'm eating, that's generally on the fitness page. What's new, Kyani business part. A lot of my stuff is work-based, because that's all we've got in Melbourne right now. We have no events, no birthdays that we're allowed to post because we're technically not even supposed to be hanging out with each other. And this is the problem, is that, I do go see my friends, but I don't post it because I don't want to be criticised for social distancing and you should be doing this and you should be doing that. So, a message to anyone who thinks that, being in the public eye is all that in a bag of potato chips. Let me tell you, unless you're prepared to be heavily criticised for everything you do, it's not, okay? It's not, because when I was a nobody, I could post anything and not have so many repercussions. But I've been in the paper.
Trolls, yes.
The amount of trolls I've had to deal with, the amount of times I've been in the paper for all the wrong reasons, that it wouldn't have mattered a year ago, but now it does. So having to be very careful about what you post every day, that is the repercussion of being known. Are you prepared for that?
Yeah.
Because I can tell you now, every time I post something mildly controversial, you can guarantee it'll be on the front cover of every online magazine. And now once the news is online, it's not coming off. So now that, you know, my name got rubbished heavily this year, okay, because I wasn't happy with what the government was doing. I wasn't happy with mask mandates. There's a lot of things I wasn't happy with, and I made it very vocal, right?
Yeah.
Now, I had to take a step back because it really did bite me in the bum, all right? But it also afforded me an opportunity to look at how can I now rebrand myself? How important is it for me to really voice my opinion online? Is it really that important? And so I really shaved back and really privatized my life by 90%. Yeah. So now I show only really 10% of what really goes on. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I'm quite happy with that.
No,
because I don't get any trolls anymore. It's a bit sad because at times I want to be a little bit more open. But, you know, when you're getting watched by every journo online, we're going to be very careful with what we post.
You know what, though? Who cares about them, though? Screw them, though. If you want to be you, who cares? If people don't want to follow you because you're being annoying or you shouldn't be doing something that they're doing, who cares? Unfollow. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, look, yes and no. Yes and no. Because, like, I do have 2 businesses I run. So I do need to uphold some form of professional image. Right? So if I'm trying to endorse a health and fitness product and I'm smoking a cigar on my Instagram, which I do privately because I like cigars, so does Arnold Schwarzenegger and Tony Doherty, and guess what? They're in the fitness industry, right? I enjoy a cigar, but if I put that online, it's probably not going to be a good look, you know?
Yeah, fair.
I like wearing Versace. Oh, but hang on a minute, you were begging for money only months ago. Yeah, but hang on a minute, it's not real. Do you know what I'm saying about perception? Yeah. Perception is, you know, we've got to be very careful with certain things. And
it seems like it's not that much fun sometimes being in your position or anyone that's been like seen nationwide or whatever it is. There's like a lot of downfall.
I guarantee
can't be yourself.
Well, look, you can, but after what happened, I had to have some talks with some good trusted advisors, and, you know, it was going to be a wise move moving forward to be a lot more filtered than before. And when I look at, okay, I have been very raw and myself and stuff online, and that's great, but it kind of, in the end, it wasn't serving me because of, you know, anything you have saved on your highlights, anything you might have saved on IGTV, when you do stuff up, that's when the journos go digging into your Instagram and they will use everything against you, right? So, so I think, having been severely trolled only, and for the first time ever, because I came off, I had a good rap on the show, I had amazing supporters, still do have amazing supporters till today, but now that I'm just focused on moving to Gold Coast and it's happening, but I don't talk about it online because I don't want anyone to really know what my moves are. Like they say, bosses move in silence. So I really don't want people to know my next move. Do you know what I'm saying? Just because it's just a protection, you know, like I will show people now what I want them to see, but I don't want them to see the whole picture. In time, when life is a bit more happening, you know, and we're going out for dinners again. Like, I can't wait to show myself walking on the beach without a mask on. Like, you know what I mean? It's not fun. I don't want to sit there and put a selfie of me with a mask on because I don't believe in them. I don't believe in them. So why am I going to sit there and jump on the bandwagon of something I don't believe in? You know, so therefore I don't show any of my walks because half the time my mask is sitting down here.
Yeah, mine is too. When I go for my walks, I'm not passing them on my own. I literally like just have them under my chin.
See, if I put that up, like for you to post that up, probably be okay. For me to post something like that up, there's so much political correctness in being in the public eye. It's disgusting. You know how much you need to filter everything.
Yeah.
But that's okay. Lesson learned. Lesson learned. And I look at some of the top influencers out there, and they're also very filtered. And sometimes it's kind of the world we live in. But side note, so I spoke to the ex-partner of a very well-known bodybuilder who recently passed away. Her and I had a chat. She watched my bullying video online, and she reached out to me, and we jumped on WhatsApp. And, you know, to look at her profile, she's got 100 and something thousand followers. And, you know, looks on the outside, it looks as though she's quite successful. But when we had a chat, her life is anything bar successful, you know, and it's just, she goes, it's quite sad that I've got to flash my body, for example, to earn some money online just to pay the bills, and I'm barely scraping through. But online, people see it very differently. And I can guarantee you yet again that a lot of influencers are projecting this image, which isn't really quite what's happening. So whilst they may be posting a lot and making out like their life is perfect, they're probably still not that much better off. So, you know.
Yeah, it's because my kind of conversation with people is more of a normal, in-depth, like, you know, talking about anything but, you know, the cool people. Like, oh, I saw this person, oh, I was going to wear this hair today and this lipstick today, and oh, I like your top. I am more of a, hi, how are you? I'm like, oh, you're so beautiful. What nationality? Like, I actually want to get them to know the actual person.
Yeah.
And I don't get that. I get more people like, oh, babe, your lipstick color. Well, like, where did you get that from? Oh, you got it from, oh, I'm good. I'm going to try it. Oh, I love your shoe. Like, it's literally just all the materialistic things. Like, it's all like, and I'm not a materialistic person. Like, I mean, look at me. I'm freaking in my, you saw me in this last week. I washed it. I swear I did.
Is that because you're married, Shad, that you just, whatevs?
No, I promise. It isn't just, I swear, let me tell you, even though me and my husband are married, we have this thing where obviously everyone knows, like, when you get married, apparently you let go and, like, you know, oh, well, what's the point in pleasing people and whatever. But when I want to be comfortable, I'm in my own home. Like, you know what? Like, it is what it is. I'm not going to get dressed to do a little story on social media so people can only see my inside. Do you know what I mean? So I will be presentable depending on what I'm doing and where I am. So, like, if I'm at home, I'm not going to dress up with you right now. I mean, even though if this is going to go and everyone's going to bloody watch it, I'm still at home. Like, we're in lockdown. This is the way I dress. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And it's not judging what other people do, but you do what you like, you're comfortable in. So when I go out, me and Lucas both, we dress very presentable. But even that, like, if I need to go out for 2 minutes to quickly run in and out of shopping, I'm not going to dress up nicely for that. I'll probably stay in this.
Yep.
And I'll wear runners and I'll run out. People will probably come up to me and be like, oh my God, is that Shadi? Like, if they do, and I'm like, hey, it's me. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
but you know what? Like, you will attract your tribe like that. Like, I'm sure your clients appreciate the fact that you're not this perfect Barbie. You fluctuate in your weight. You know, you're very normal. You're just more experienced than they are. But you probably make them feel comfortable because you do stuff up from time to time with, you know, with your diet and stuff. So, why do you fluctuate? Like, let's talk about that.
Honestly, like, the one thing, and you brought up that good point of making people feel comfortable. Like, every single client that I have, or every single client that, you know, wants to speak with me or want to have a little chat before they want to join with me or train with me, the first thing that they always say is, oh my God, I'm so new to this. I'm so scared. Please don't kill me. This, that. So every single person that I speak to almost has this perception that trainers are like perfect and they're like invincible and that we're going to, you know, be hardcore on them and everything like that. But it sucks because one, for me, I really want someone to feel comfortable when they want to train. I want them to feel like a safety net, like I'm here, I'm no different to you, I'm a human, I fluctuate. So I almost feel like I need to tell them like a little bit about me and how I'm not perfect, for them to be like, oh, really? And they get shocked. And I'm like, yeah, like, you know, and I just feel like it's just because of all these stupid fake influencers. Or I'm not gonna like, or not even that. I just feel that they don't show their bad side, like, or they don't show that they've put on weight. I haven't seen a fitness influencer that's put on weight actually, like, or have, I don't know. I haven't yet.
Yeah.
But I feel I've fluctuated. Like I went from a certain weight and I've changed again to this weight. And I'm not gonna lie, I love food. Oh my God, do I love food? Like, yes, the macros and all this bullshit. I don't believe in doing macros all the time. Depends on if you're competing, if you need something specifically done for you to get in a perfect body fat percentage, then yeah. But if you're wanting something long term, you know, if you've got a busy schedule, you can't weigh your food every freaking day. You've got kids. Like, what are you going to do? Weigh your food every day? Like, people are going to just lose track of that. And if we're talking, you see, there's two demographics. You've got the I
was going to say, like, what's your weakness when it comes to food, where you find you might fluctuate? So you put on 7 kilos in COVID. How many months is that? And like, where do you reckon you've gone wrong in a sense of your diet?
When was the start of the second lockdown? Like, when was that? End of June.
June, yeah.
Yeah. End of June. I'm not even joking with you. I'm freaking been sitting on this chair this whole time in COVID, and I've been doing exactly what you've been doing because there's nothing else to do besides, like, I mean, obviously I love what I do.
Are you training? Are you training at the moment?
I am doing a little bit of training, but not a lot at all. Like, I've lost so much motivation. And I just think and this is where everyone goes through the same thing. Like, me, even as a trainer, like, I can see the reason why people struggle. You see, my freaking kitchen's right here behind that door. So like, I'm like, I'm bored. Like, you know, let's get some of this and I'll do my work while I'm doing this. So I could train, but like, you got to eat correctly for the training to also work. It works hand in hand. So I'm not training enough to, like, I love my little junk foods every now and then. And I don't know whether you've gone through this, but as soon as you introduce something yummy that you love, you can't stop.
What I tend to do with that, so, you know, if you don't buy it, you don't crave it. Yes, plain and simple. I have a couple of vices, but I don't tend to buy them every week. I might buy it once or twice a month. But I'm obsessed with the spice cookie. It's like a peanut butter, but it's also.
I've seen it on your story. Is that spread?
Yes, the spread. So I've been hoeing into that, but that's dangerous because like three tablespoons turns into 6 very quickly, you know. And you know, I've kept a block of chocolate in my room. It's not something I'll smash down in one hit. You know, I'm very, look, I got to say, I'm very well disciplined regardless of the circumstances. I trained all through maths. I've trained all through COVID, 5 days a week. If anything, I look, I wouldn't even say better, but I've definitely maintained in my physique. Like, for me, training is more about mental health. When I don't train, I feel flat. So for me, I got to train or else my mental health takes a hit. And so I know my why with training. But yeah, you can imagine for someone like you who is, you know, you're paid to motivate people for a living. For you to also lose motivation, you're just human. You know, you're only human, and it shows you how easy it is to lose motivation. Yeah, but everyone is different. Like, I haven't had a week off for 12 years. So in training. But
see, that's the thing as well. Like, I absolutely love training too, and for me, I love the training, but then it's the eating that gets me.
Yeah.
You know, so that's why I do fluctuate every now and then, because I go so good. And then I'll eat my food. I'll eat like a little bit of something that I love, but then I'll be like, oh, I did really well. I'll have one more. Oh, I did really well. I'll have another one. And then that's where it gets me. And you see, I have a lot of clients in that position like me. And so that's when they're like, oh my God, you understand. I'm like, trust me, I do understand.
Yeah.
So this is what you need to do. This is what you need to do. And this is what you need to do.
Yeah.
Because it's what I've done. But I bounce back from it. I know it's easy for me to bounce back. When I switch back, it's easy. But I just fall into that thing sometimes. And I have been a lot more inactive this time around in COVID than the first time. Because I would normally do my training session, then go for a walk. I love to walk and split my day, but I haven't been doing that. And it's so crazy how something so little can change something.
Yeah.
So, and that's
right.
my body. My body isn't perfect, but there's some people that are trainers that are skinny, and it doesn't really take much for them to become, oh, look at my body. Do you want my body?
Everyone's different. That's right. Everyone is different.
Yeah.
Everyone's built differently. You know, I think it just comes back to your why, like what's important to you long term, you know. So with that said, I think we've been running for over an hour. So what I'd love to do, Shards, we'll wrap it up. We could probably be here and talk all day, but if people do want to get in touch with you, what's the best and easiest way for them to get in touch with you?
Yeah, Instagram, Facebook, or head to my website.
Beautiful.
www.backtobasicsforlifefitness.com.
Great. I'll post all those links below, guys, so make sure that you check them out. Shards, is there anything you want to leave the audience with, a quote or saying?
So 2 things. If you put your mind to it, it's something that you can definitely achieve. Mind over matter. Seriously, it is. Your mind is so freaking powerful. You've just got to believe you can do it, and no self-doubt. And the other thing is as well, in terms of the business side, and me and A, obviously, it's hard to build a business, but, you got to start from the bottom. It doesn't matter where you are. You will get there if you really love what you do. So just keep going and don't stop. You'll have self-doubt, but you got to push through it. I've had so much self-doubt, and I just keep pushing through it. So
thank you so much for tuning into today's episode. If you liked the content, please make sure you support the show by giving a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, and turn on your post notifications so you are the first to know when a new show is released. If you are interested in having me present a speaking presentation in your enterprise, sporting club, or event, please send me an email. Link is below in the description. Thanks once again. You've been amazing to last this long, and join me again on the next episode.